Hey, welcome to Foreigner in the Philippines. Another late night, 10 after 11, and I'm still up. Well, that's one of those things, isn't it? Drink your coffee at the wrong time, and here you are still. I wanted to... It occurred to me that I should talk about the meteoric rise of our channel, which has just taken flight. We're expecting that in maybe hours even we will have, I think, 48,000 I think it is. Let me see. Right now it's 47,747, and the way that it's been going, we've been adding 1,000 a day. Now, one thing's for certain, 1,000 a day, it means that it will attract attention. It will attract attention because that's the formula. As you increase, so the resistance to that increases. So I read a book by a man who was talking about art, and he was talking about writing. He was talking about when you're creating things, that every day that you arise, for the life of me I can never remember this man's name. His first name was Steve, and he wrote a book called Do the Work. So that's enough to find him on YouTube, not on YouTube, on Amazon.com. A book well worth reading. Do the Work by Steve. If only the word would come to me. Anyway, Steve wrote the book in a very entertaining way, and he described what we go through when we create anything. And what's the common denominator of starting anything is creation. And you decide that you're going to, I don't know, clean the car, decide you're going to do a painting, decide you're going to tidy a house, you're going to decide that you're going to start a new job. It's creation. You're going to start something from nothing. You're going to move something from here to there. It all has creation at its base. And when we start to create, we immediately, in almost direct proportion, we encounter resistance. Now, there used to be a man, there was a very famous painter. Once again, I'm terrible at names. Although I shouldn't be saying that, because that means I'll become more terrible at names. I think it was Hopper. I think his name was Hopper. He was the one, I've mentioned this man before because it was such a marked example of resistance coming in when you try to create anything. Hopper was the man that did a very iconic painting of a corner 50s diner in somewhere like New York. Somebody took that painting and the idea for it, and they put a load of celebrities there. John Wayne was there, Marilyn Monroe, and James Dean, and they were all lounging at the bar in this corner cafe. Well, the man that did that painting originally, Hopper, I think his name was, sometimes he would be caught in this moment prior to creating something, and he would sit in front of a blank canvas, powerless to even make a mark on it, sometimes for days. So it's only to be expected that the rest of us mere mortals might have the same problem. Now, how else does it manifest? Well, it manifests in when there is an increase in anything. That is, you could regard that as a moment of creation as well. Now, one thing is for certain, as we embark on this, as we continue on this rise, we will no doubt be, let me see, Monday or early Tuesday morning, we will go into 50,000 subscribers. And if that continues, we'll be at 100,000 subscribers That's not even allowing for the exponential effect, where as things get faster, they get faster, get faster, get faster, get faster. So the rise will probably, the rate of the increase will, if anything, will raise. Well, how will this affect us? Well, as you know, as you may know, if you have been following any of our earlier videos, you know that we've had opposition rising. Now, believe me, if you thought that that was bad, it's nothing to what's going to come, because the dark side, you can call this whatever you like. You can give this the name that suits you best, be it negative energy, be it the dark forces, be it Darth Vader and the dark side, the other side of the force. You can call it whatever you like. If you're deeply religious, you will refer to the Bible. If you are religious in other non-biblical sense, you'll call it the Lord or God, who will act for the good, and Satan or someone else who will act for the other side. Be whatever it may be called, it will rise, and you will see opposition to our channel and to the work that we do. Now, the work that we do, what do we do? When we are free of restrictions, which we hope will happen very soon, we're getting offers of help from other sources now who are saying that they can help us to negotiate this process in a slightly less problematic way, and we are glad of any help that we can get on that. At the moment, our application for unrestricted movement comes in the guise of a non-profit, a non-stock, non-profit corporation. That application is all going through now with all of the appropriate paperwork as requested, and it is at the stage, a second stage, with the SEC, which is the Securities and Exchange Commission. Not quite sure how that comes in when you're applying for non-profit, but anyway, it's there. And we were quoted a month for that to come through. That's 2 to 4 weeks. Well, we've done the 2 weeks, and now we're into looking at 3 and 4. Maybe we'll be able to get some help on that, maybe not. We'll just wait it out and do the little things that we've already been doing, which we are allowed to do as private individuals. But what we're not allowed to do, and have refrained from doing, is soliciting funds. We're not saying anymore, if you see something that you want to help with, you can just get in touch with us, because the DSWD have asked us not to do that, and we have agreed and signed a document saying that we will not do that. But the other stuff that people are sending us gifts, which are to be passed on to certain people that he or she has requested. So we've, in the last, let me see, it is about 8, I think 6 or 8 boxes which have come our way to be distributed by name. Some of them, the box that we opened today had all small parcels, and they were made out, each one bagged up and identical to the next, and they were to be given out to 20 children. Aye, sir, we are going to do exactly that this weekend. So other things that have been a help, we've done other videos on. We are completely transparent, and so that's also something that may set off buttons that will press the buttons of people who like to stop things. And one thing that emerges when you're looking at creation, and that is, some people, and everybody has their place, but some people are best at starting things, and we all know somebody who started a business that was a great idea that failed, and we all know that, and these people were not able to continue what they were doing. the famous one was Victor Borge said that his uncle created a wonderful drink which he called 5 Up. Or 4 Up, I think it was, when Victor Borge said it. It was called 4 Up. It was a medium success, but they were looking for more than that with the investment they had. So they put a slightly different ingredient in there and created 5 Up. And later, as a last resort, they tried another form of drink and they called it 6 Up. But then they gave up. And as Victor said, you know, they'll never know how close they came to success. So the main thing is in all of this is that to take the resistance that you have to the work that you do and take it as a sign that you are doing the right thing. Now, so often we're set against the idea of making mistakes. Somebody can be fired for making mistakes. They can be doing a job and they make a mistake and then make another mistake, and then on the third one they come round and say, sorry, you're making too many mistakes, we'll have to fire. When someone's creating, when someone is trying to make a success of something, when they make a mistake, it actually takes them closer to success, not further away. If you look at the autopilot, and I've done this on the psycho-cybernetics chat that I gave on a book that I'd read, the airplane with its autopilot, it makes a series of mistakes. It continues on until it finds out that it's not the correct course, and then it alters it. It alters it until it becomes more correct. And then again, when it finds that it's now no longer correct. And in doing that, it gets you to where you want to go. Well, making mistakes will get us to where we want to go. So our work of helping, we are on a first responders. This is what we do. I think of us as first responders. People come when they have no hope of getting any help from anyone else without going through enormous paper, jumping through hoops, signing forms, doing applications. Meantime, that prescription that they needed, which they wanted for a child, is not filled. Much as some of our former subscribers have tried to make out that you can get free this and free that, and you can go to the hospital and they'll give you free. It's very true that some of these things are free. But you know, just to go to a doctor, and we go to a doctor, we take some of the people that we try and help and we take them to a doctor, and it usually is 300 pesos. Now, if you remember that when I said when we build a house for someone, the people that we're building a house for are so poor that if we promised that we would build a house for 50 or 60 or 100,000 pesos and said, all you have to do is give us 500 pesos and we'll build a house, if not, they wouldn't be able to do it. They wouldn't have 500 pesos which they could just go and lay their hands on and hand over. So we're not doing that, by the way. We don't make any conditions. We don't put any conditions on those people that we help. Usually for us, if it's any kind of a family with children, then they get the priority, and we try to look at how having another house that is warm, safe, that's dry, that's secure, the effect that has on children is incredible, and we rejoice in that we're doing that. Now, you wouldn't think that anybody would have any opposition to that, would you? But it's true. We have posted videos of baby Faith, a tiny little child who was 3 months old at the time. She's now 4 months old, and she had a huge tumor in her spine, and we helped. We were not the first who had helped. Another friend of ours, who I don't know whether he wants us to mention his name, so I won't mention his name, but he's a subscriber of ours and a friend, and he helped with the first operation. First operation was to install a shunt in the head because the child, baby Faith, also had hydroencephalus, and she needed a shunt put in the back here, which would drain the fluid from the head, from the skull area, into her stomach. Our friend helped with that. He knows who he is. Thank you, sir. And then we came in, and with our subscribers we helped with the second operation, which was a success, and which Faith has had some difficulties. Now, you wouldn't think that a little child like that would arouse anybody's opposition, but there were thumbs down to that little baby getting an operation. So there are people who are good at stopping things, people who are good at starting things. There are people who are good at keeping it going. If you have started something and got it going, and you get them along and you say, right, this is what you do, you put this over here and the widget in over there and adjust the angle of the dangle, and they're good. They'll keep it going for you until you get back. They won't be able to initiate anything, nothing creative, but they keep things going once they know what to do. They're good at keeping things going. And then there are people who are good at stopping things, and they are the ones that do their thumbs down. They're the ones that try to bring you to a halt in order to adhere to some rule. They're good at stopping things. Now, there's a place for people who are good at stopping things. If it and this might sound like a contradiction, if it's a creative effort, because stopping things means that you're going to start something else. Now that we have our non-profit in process, a lot of the opposition that we got, the criticism that we got, was because they said we were not legal. Well, soon we will have handled that opposition, that criticism. So do you think that's going to make anybody stop? No. Because some people are good at trying to stop things. And you must, no matter who you are, you don't have to be starting a non-profit corporation to know that there are people who stop things, and they're part of the human race, and they are to be expected, and they will be there. So then you get into the question of ethics, and whether these people, whoever it is that is applying, who is applied in the context of what you are talking about, and then it's what I'm talking about, is obviously in the context of our YouTube channel and our helping people who are less fortunate than we are. Now, it will come in whatever form they are able to do. Now, if a guy is good at fighting, then he'll respond to any given situation by fighting. If someone is good at talking their way around things, they'll respond to given situations by talking their way around things. Little guys often learn how to talk their way out of fights. The big guys just start punching, or maybe they do. Now, how will the opposition to us, what form will it take? Well, in the past it hasn't been nice. Should we expect that it changes? I don't think so. It will continue as it's going. Any underhand, critical, nasty trick, it will still continue like that. So those of us who who want actually that things will go nice and be feel good, will be disappointed if we keep our hopes up in that direction. It's not going to happen. So I guess I'm giving you a heads up that as our channel increases, it doesn't mean that opposition to our work is going to stop. It's not. There will be people, because of the way that they respond to their life, who will not believe what they are actually seeing. Most of the people who oppose the good that other people do, and we're not unusual, by the way. There are many different groups who have started incredibly helpful projects for people who could never have, who would never have any hope if it wasn't for those projects. Larry Malley, who died recently, was a hero. He was responsible for getting together Medical Mission Matters, and it was him. He was the driving force behind helping thousands of young children who had huge deformities in the shape of a cleft palate, and the lip here would be broken and in two parts. And he got together talented surgeons, and he got them to donate their time, and he helped so many people. When I spoke to him, we met, Beth and I went to meet Larry, and as a matter of fact, he gave us a wheelchair for Desiree, the girl that we were helping at the time. And we took that wheelchair, still in the box, for which he would not take any money. And he talked to us, and he said how he had been amazed at the fact that people would still try to steal even the credit that he had. In that year prior to him being killed in a road accident, he was awarded, he was given a great award. I don't know the name of that award, but he was given a great award for the work that he's done, which was just in time. He received the recognition that he deserved just before he died. Well, he had his detractors. He had the people who would seek to stop him, which is amazing when you think of all the children that he helped. So we're not expecting any different. We're not expecting it to get easier. We're expecting it to pretty well stay the way it is now, which is a lot of opposition. Every day that Beth and I get up, we look at the comments, and in the comments there will be various comments which need to be attended to. Some will be straightforward requests for information. Some will be saying well done. Others will be saying you should have done this, you should have done that, and they may be right or may be wrong. And then there'll be others whose only job is to put a knife in or stick a pin and make you react and get you annoyed and upset. And they're what everybody calls the trolls. Well, we deal with those every day. It's an everyday thing. Just like the writer that I told you about that wrote the book called Do the Work. He said, every day of your life, you walk out, as you face the day, you walk out onto a plane. And on the plane sits a dragon. And the dragon is there to devour you. And you are the knight in shining armor, and you must battle the dragon every day. So think of your creativity. Think of your efforts to help someone. Think of your efforts to learn a new thing. Think of your efforts to get another job, to make a better marriage, to be a better mother or a father, to be a better driver, to be a better artist, sculptor, builder, anything, carpenter. any effort which you are going to make will have, in direct proportion, it will have opposition, it will have resistance, it will have that sinking feeling in your stomach where you think, I can't do this. And that little voice inside you is saying, absolutely, you can't do it. Don't try. Why hurt yourself? Why have the disappointment? Don't try. And if you listen to that voice, you're in for a very boring life. This is a foreigner in the Philippines, and we look forward to your company again. Bye for now. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. And if you see anything that you think is of interest to you, maybe it was of interest to someone else and might help them, there are plenty of people out there who are struggling to put the next foot forward and just can't seem to do it. Somebody wrote to me and sent me a little story in the form of a video, and said this might make you feel better. And it came at perfect timing, because, as I say, sometimes we get up and we get such a load of crap that we start thinking, what the heck? And this one was a story of a man who prayed to God, and he asked for a butterfly and a flower. Could I have a beautiful butterfly and a beautiful flower? Doesn't seem like much to ask for God, does it? Well, God gave him a gift of a caterpillar and a cactus. And the man was very disappointed, because he said, how could God get it so wrong? All I asked for was a beautiful butterfly and a flower. Well, he went off and didn't come back for a few days. And then he thought he'd better check up and see what was happening. And he came back, and the caterpillar had grown into a beautiful butterfly, and the cactus had flowered, and it was a beautiful flower. So sometimes, if you think of God as, yes, a great person, that's one thing. If you think of it as the universe, if you think of it as the power of good, the God power, whatever you think of that, it's there as a creative force. You are part of a creator, and what you wish for is part of your own impetus, part of your own self-motivation to make of your life what you want to make of it. You know, it can either be a butterfly or it can remain as a caterpillar. It's up to you. But sometimes you might have to wait. What's the great saying? Thank you, God, for giving me what I need instead of what I want. And on that note, thank you for listening. It's been a late night wandering about. Oh God, look at the time, 28 minutes. That's me. Bye for now.